Good evening, young Padawans and Padawins. We are back. Yes, that's right. We are back. And it is Monday night. Yes, Monday night. You gotta love it. Once again, it is two Ewoks in the park tonight. The redneck, myself, and the geek, Mr. Sully, are along, and we're going to review Skeleton Crew Episode 3. It's going to be a fun ride. Do me a favor, grab something to drink, an adult beverage or whatever it is you like. Something to munch on, sit back in that beanbag chair, and enjoy the ride, because, Sully, it's all yours.
Oh, why, thank you, sir. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Two Ewoks in the Park. Yes, I'm all festive today. Look, I got my Grogu shirt on. Look, I got my Grogu Christmas shirt on. Also known as my Grogu pajamas. Yeah, Grogu pajamas, because I wanted to wear my Christmas Grogu pajamas today to celebrate two Ewoks in the park. And, whoa! Yeah, we're only doing one today. And it's okay. It's okay that we're only doing one episode today. Because JT didn't get to watch number 4 because he was having some streaming issues. And that's also okay. And I feel like my camera shifted. I feel like my camera just like shifted over and moved on me. And I don't know why. So I'm going to fix that real quick here. Because I can. Because I can, and you'll probably never notice it. But anyway. So yes, I know JT will say, no, it's not okay. Because we were expected to do 2 episodes today.
Yes, we were.
And that's okay that we don't. It is. It's all right.
I don't think it is.
I won't,
my fault.
I won't hold it against him.
I will.
You will, of course. I won't hold it against him, but yes, we are going to talk about episode 3 today. Episode 3 of Skeleton Crew, also known as very interesting as an astrogation problem. Yes, astrogation problem.
That's why I haven't tried to say it.
Where's Lady Death when I need her? Clip that. Very interesting as an astrogation problem. Now, clearly, we're at the point in time where this wonderful adventure that we're on, and I say this for a reason, because one, it still feels like we're watching Goonies in the Star Wars galaxy. Okay?
I can't argue with you on that.
It does. It feels like the Goonies. And I love it. That's number 1. Number 2, in Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, we trust. Because clearly they're the executive producers. They know what they're doing. And I'm sorry, but everything they touch lately when it comes to Star Wars is turning to gold.
Mm-hmm.
Which just goes to show you that they know what they're doing. Let them have fun and do what they need to do.
Let them do what they're doing, man, because they are on a roll.
Right? Between The Mandalorian. And don't get me wrong. Book of Boba Fett had its issues. We've talked about that. But it was still a pretty decent series.
Oh. And to be honest, Mandalorian had its issues too.
Yes, Mandalorian had its issues too.
You know, not as bad as Boba Fett did, but
no.
Or Obi-Wan, or, you know.
I like to call the Book of Boba Fett The Mandalorian season 2.5.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was that just enough to keep us held off until season 3 of The Mandalorian. Okay.
Yeah, then you had Andor. We won't get into that.
No, because I loved Andor.
I did too. It was good. I mean, I can honestly say I haven't really had a problem with any of the series that we've reviewed.
That is not true. Remember the Acolyte?
Star Wars?
Remember the Acolyte?
Ah,
See. Now you're going. Oh yeah.
Okay, bad memory. Tried to push it out, and now you've just ruined my entire Christmas week.
I'm sorry, but we also had Ahsoka, which, whoa, again, in Dave Filoni we trust.
Yeah, I mean, I ended up loving Ahsoka, but it was driving me nuts.
It really was. It was driving you so crazy, and for you, because you didn't watch Clone Wars, you had a lot to catch up on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I gave you the abridged version very quickly.
Pretty much.
But again, Ahsoka is Dave Filoni's character. He created her.
Right.
You know? Had to be a specific way, and the evolution of Ahsoka was amazing.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
Same with Rebels. Dave Filoni. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just
the thing I like about this one is the characters' personalities. A lot of times we'll watch a quick change in the personalities as we get into episode 2 or episode 3 or episode 4.
Yes.
Especially with the kids. Wim has been Wim throughout.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all he thinks about is adventure and having fun and doing exciting stuff.
Adventure?
You know,
excitement.
And it's just he's stuck in his character big time.
Jedi craves not these things.
which I love, you know. I mean, the fact that he's staying within his character, you know, and then you got Fern, you know, she's just being a bitch.
Yeah.
And she's as we're going, she's turning into a bigger bitch.
But
Neil's the scaredy cat.
Well, yes, but a lot is done with those, and I like that they're doing what they're doing with these kids.
The one I can't figure out, the one I haven't really figured out to this point,
KB
is KB.
So
I have not. Is KB like half droid, half human kind of thing? Is that what's going on with her, or what?
I wouldn't say she's half droid.
Okay.
She does have.
Is she enhanced?
Yeah, I mean, she's got the cybernetics.
Okay.
Which, for her, because she has those cybernetics, it helps with it helps with her intelligence, because for her she can, there's like a lot of stuff when it comes down to her brain that she needs those cybernetics for. Want to say hi to Hidden Nature? She says, "Merry Christmas, punchers and huggies." Hello, darling. Merry Christmas to you and to the Munchkin as well. We love you guys. But the good thing is, with her cybernetic implants, she can do a lot of different things by just plugging into the computer. Kind of like Tech was able to do in Bad Batch. Kind of like Echo is able to do in Bad Batch and Clone Wars. But
she doesn't seem to be as advanced as they were.
No. Well, you got to remember, with Echo, he had a lot of cybernetic implants.
Right.
Tech, on the other hand, was just good with technology.
Right. So she's kind of like in between the two of them.
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
So
that helps me a lot, because that kind of, lets me know where she sits as far as, mechanical intuition and all that kind of stuff, because I noticed when they took off in the ship and they were getting ready to go into hyperspace, she was off on the side by the side computer screen.
Yes.
She wasn't doing anything, but she was just watching the screen.
Yes. So,
was, and there was stuff flashing across it, and she was just analyzing everything that she saw. So that's kind of what made me wonder how enhanced, I guess you could say, she was.
So think of it this way. When it comes down to it, do you remember Lobot from Empire Strikes Back? He was the head of security with Lando. He had the cybernetics too. He had it, above his ears. It went around the back of his head. He was connected to the main computer of Cloud City. So he could see and hear everything. He can report back. He could do whatever because of that cybernetic implant. So in a lot of ways, we can even tie this to Star Trek in some ways. That Hidden Nature says, "Oh, 2 Ewoks is today." Yes, because there's no show tomorrow. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. But yes, 2 Ewoks today, and you're not dumb, so knock it off. But
you got a whole lot going through that brain all at one time, and your name is not KB.
Right. And when it comes down to it, if you think about it, he was kind of like a Borg from Star Trek. One mind all collected into this one computer.
Right.
KB, on the other hand, is not like that. She is a cyborg, yes. And I have a feeling that those cybernetic implants not only help with her intelligence, but help keep her alive because, again, we don't know much about her early childhood. Right. But there could have been something that went wrong that she needed those cybernetic implants to stay alive. Right. Okay. So.
Well, it's, as we get into the beginning of the episode, they're all gathered at Wim's dad's house.
Yes, every single one of them, all the parents.
One of the comments that KB's mother says, or father, one of the two, was that what worries me is when we lost track of KB's tracker.
Which means she's got that tracker in her cybernetic implant, and it is only tied to a computer in her house.
Right.
On that add-in.
Right.
Which means the minute they left the barrier, gone. That was it.
Right.
Either that or KB disabled it.
But why would she do that?
I don't even think she would.
Unless she was trying to run away, which we saw no signs of that whatsoever in KB.
No, we didn't. Because she's usually quiet.
There's no reason why she would want to cut the tracker off. So I would say it was, that it was a mechanical thing. But here's my thought.
Okay.
Wouldn't they maybe be able to plug into her and backtrack or something her place? Not the ones on Atten, not the parents, but them.
That's a good question.
You would think maybe they'd be able to track it back because, nobody has it on a map. Atten's, is nothing but a myth.
So far, anyway.
Everybody outside of that Atten.
Yeah.
So I would wonder if there's that tracking ability there and maybe just nobody's thought of it yet.
I would think so. But the other issue is when, they're all sitting down and they say to the supervisor, because that's Fern's mom is the supervisor, what's going to happen? Because we want our kids back.
Right.
And then a safety droid comes in and says that the starship left and they exited the barrier. And that was it.
And it's illegal to exit the barrier.
Yep. And illegally. They did something bad.
But it makes it interesting because, other than that, at this point, that's as far as we know.
Yeah.
Fern's mom is like, well, I'm going to schedule an immediate appointment with the supervisor of the bots and all this. But all they do is they pan back to Wim's dad,
Mm-hmm.
who sits down and just has this blank look on his face.
Well, that and Neil's mother, also known as Numa,
Mm-hmm.
aside for Wendell being in complete and total shock,
Right.
it's like, hey, what if we call the Republic? Let's get their help. I'm sure they have people that can help track these kids down, especially if a starship left the barrier.
Right.
But it was interesting because when the supervisor said she was not going to risk making contact, that tells me that that planet has no idea that there was a resistance, B, an empire, because
they don't know anything that's happening outside of their world.
Right. They still only know of the Republic.
Right.
Not the New Republic, the Republic.
Yeah, because she said specifically, can't we contact the Republic and ask them for help? The Republic, not the New Republic or anything else. It's just the Republic.
So that makes me wonder, how long have they been cut off from the Republic and the Empire? Which also makes you wonder, why did they do it? And who did it?
Well, if you'll remember in episode 1, one of the conversations that the kids had was about the hidden treasure of At-Aten.
Yep.
So, maybe there is supposedly something precious, maybe a mineral inside the earth or, a cache that nobody knows about or whatever.
Yep.
On that planet, and that's why they stayed hidden. That's why they don't want to make contact with the outside world.
Well, that, and according to the safety droid, contact outside the barrier is forbidden.
Yep.
So
it makes you wonder what's on that planet.
Yeah. Why is it forbidden? Who made it forbidden?
Right.
I don't think it was the supervisor. I think it was whoever decided, hey, we need to hide this planet because this is a self-sufficient planet.
Right.
And the fact that they're using old Republic credits, because even when they were at the kids were at the spaceport, they mentioned, where did you get these old Republic credits from?
Yeah, well, the old Republic credits are what caused the problem.
Right.
Besides the fact that they were 4 kids in a freaking pirate spaceport.
Well, what was it? Borgo Prime, I think it was, if I remember correctly, the spaceport.
I think you're right.
So with that, I'm loving that the parents of these kids are just, they're there.
Well, they're flipping their lids, kind of.
Well, yeah, but it's more about the kids than the parents trying to find the kids. Okay, and I like that because that just adds to the Goonies feel of it.
Right. Because
we saw the parents, we know who they were in the Goonies, but that was it.
I wondered what, like,
we didn't.
Come here.
Ooh, what's the question?
Hang on.
Well, I was wondering why it had a feeling of something I'd seen before.
Uh-huh.
And that's it, Goonies. But I never watched Goonies that much, but I knew enough.
Oh, you got to watch Goonies.
He's been comparing this to Goonies since
day one.
Yeah.
Yeah, from day one.
That makes sense.
And he's right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's right this time.
Woohoo! I'm right, people. That's right. Mark it
in the calendar because it won't happen again.
Oh.
It will until next week.
Santa's going to bring him you're right one more time for Christmas.
Because there have been numerous times where I called some theories and stuff like that, and it pissed JT
quit bragging.
off.
Quit trying to brag.
And he's whatever.
He's like, God damn it. I think I hate you even came out a few times.
just a little bit. Love you, babe.
But
she's into it just as much as I am.
Yeah,
and that's cool.
Awesome. You know, but it keeps you going, and it just brings up more questions. More questions. So
absolutely.
So the fact that they're only showing snippets of the adults and, you know, they're freaking out. They're like, what the hell do we do now? Just like any parent would when their kids go missing and they need to find them. And in their case, it's illegal to even communicate outside the barrier. It's illegal to leave the planet. So
it's illegal to approach the barrier.
Right. What do you do?
Yeah. I mean, they must have like a flight deck kind of thing where you can't go above this.
Yeah, or you're going to get notified.
You know, and if you do, you're violating the law and blah, 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 you know.
So we fast forward from there to we're back to Borgo Prime, which, if you knew from the last episode, we meet Jadno Nawud, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He's in with them and they escape. They've got the key because they used the Force and, you know, they did whatever they need to do. So now they're trying to escape. Makes sense. How do you escape with 4 kids?
Right.
Well, there's, you know, a tentacled guard with an electro staff. You don't want to mess with them. That hurts, you know. But
they prove that by him stabbing one of the critters in the cage.
Yeah, it gets electrocuted. What? Jod, and I can't wait until I tell you his real name because that's going to be awesome, but that's besides the point. But well, let me rephrase. Jadna Nawud is his real name. But
that's not what he's known by.
Right. It's not what he's known by, but that is his real name. Mm-hmm. Okay. And he also goes by Silvo, who was in the first episode. We saw it with the mask and the helmet. That's his pirate name. But there's also one other name that he goes by. And at the same time, we do know he's Force sensitive. Trained by the Jedi? Maybe.
Right.
Maybe. But anything is possible.
Right. Well, and one of the things that I like about Fern and throughout this series is how level-headed and skeptical she is about everything. And she has to have gotten that from her mother.
Yes.
You know, for her mother to be a supervisor of the analysts or whatever department it is that she's supervising, that's got to be the way that she is, skeptical about everything. You have to prove it to me before I'm going to believe it.
Yeah, which is not a bad thing. You know? And it's not, you know, especially for someone who is the daughter of leadership.
Right.
And I say that in you know, probably the most respectable terms possible. The leadership role, she's the daughter. So a lot of things are going to rub off on her. Okay.
Right.
But in this case, you know, yes, she doesn't trust him. Wim, on the other hand, is like, this is great. I trust him, no problem, 100%. Let's do this.
He's Jedi. He's a good guy. He's Jedi.
Now, the other thing is, Jod never said he was a Jedi.
Oh,
never said it. Wim,
he just didn't deny it.
Right, just didn't deny it. Didn't change anything. But he's using the Force to do what he needs to do in order to get them all to escape so they can get back onto their ship. Okay.
Right.
And even Jod said at the point in time, you know, there was no point in escaping when I didn't have a starship. You guys.
Well, yeah, and he said that because Fern's like, well, why didn't you escape before?
Right.
He's like, why would I escape when I didn't have a ship?
Right. Like, why do it?
Which is a completely logical answer to her question.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. And they're like, well, okay, hold it. Well, who are you? So he introduces himself. Hey, I'm this person. Now that we're all acquainted, let's get out of here.
Right.
Let's get out of here. So they do what they need to do, but they get back to the ship and they go, wait a second. SM-33 told us not to trust anybody. Why are we going to trust him when he was in jail already?
Wim's like, well, so were we.
well, he also says magic powers.
Well, I was Neil.
Yes, well, the man with the magic powers. That's what he said. But the two of them, if you think about it, Wim and Neil kind of left and right side brain.
Right.
Because they're best friends. So it's like one says one thing, he says the other, and it finishes their sentences and their comments, and they do what they need to do. And even Neil's like, I think we can trust this guy.
Right.
And the fact that Neil, the scaredy cat, said that kind of gets Fern going, well, all right. And that's when Wim calls him a Jedi again. He's like, guys, he's a Jedi.
Yep.
They stood for peace and justice in the galaxy. They helped people like us all the time. Which also is a clue to me that they had no idea the Empire happened.
Yeah.
They had no clue.
Yeah, they've been cut off for a long time.
Very, very long time.
Especially for them to advance to the point they are now, and for the ship that they have to have been completely buried.
Yep.
With trees fully freaking grown.
Yep.
On top of it. So they've been there for, I would have to say, thousands of years.
At least. Well,
and they've been cut off from
not
the
world.
world.
Not thousands of years, because let me do.
It's going to take a couple hundred years for those trees to get as big as they were.
Yeah. So let me just do a timeline real quick here. Nope, that's not what I wanted. So you got to remember with Phantom Menace, and even before that, I'll even go as far back as Acolyte, because Acolyte was hundreds of years before Star Wars even happened. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you have Acolyte and everything before and in between. We know Yoda is around. We've seen him. Okay, want to say hi to Tim. Hello.
What's up, Tim?
From D Live. Good to see you, sir. Come on in, have some fun. We're talking about Skeleton Crew, episode 3.
Spoiler alert if you haven't watched it.
Spoiler alert! We're gonna break it apart. Gonna break it apart, and it's not gonna be pretty. Just saying. Just putting it in.
Be a little sexy, but not real pretty.
Putting it out there. So you have the Acolyte, and then you have hundreds of years, then you've got Phantom Menace, which is the beginning of the fall of the Republic. We know this, okay?
Right.
It's the beginning of the fall. That then goes to the Clone Wars, then you have the Clone Wars, then you have Revenge of the Sith. Then Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. In between that, you have Rogue One, which is right before A New Hope, literally right before it. And Solo, a Star Wars story, which is in between Rogue One and during the Clone War, not Clone Wars, Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. Okay.
Gotcha.
So therefore,
either way, it's a long time.
That
they've been there and cut off from the rest of the universe.
At least, because then you had the Battle of Yavin. And this takes place 9 years after that. So Empire Strikes Back already happened. Return of the Jedi already happened. That's already 18 to 20 years from Revenge of the Sith to Return of the Jedi.
Right.
Okay. It takes place during the same time as The Mandalorian, which is 5 to 9 years after the Battle of Yavin. Right. That's where everything happens. Battle of Yavin.
But even 30 years, those trees wouldn't be as big as they were.
Right. Which means
so they've been there for quite a while.
They've been cut off for a long time.
Yeah.
And they don't even know it.
That's the crazy thing about it.
So in this case, with this specific episode, we already know. They have no idea what the frickin' hell is going on because they didn't experience it. Mm-hmm. They think the Jedi Order is still around. Nope. Gone.
Well, the comment was made in episode 1 that I haven't heard of Atten in forever.
Right.
So
I don't know what Atten is.
But it's an interesting thing. The amount of time that they've been there, by cut off from society,
right?
And being as naive as they are about the outside world, I guess.
I was just about to say the same thing. They're naive, especially the kids. I mean, most kids are naive to begin with. Very easy to hey, I'm going to trust this person, no problem. And in Jod's point of view, now he's got 4 kids under him that he's trying to get to safety. And they're like, what do? We're going to use the crowd to our advantage.
Yeah, because he gives them a choice. We either go this way where there's people, or we go this way where there's nothing. And Fern's like, let's go the nothing way.
Yeah.
And Jod's like, no, because it's easier to hide in a crowd.
Absolutely. You can put a hood up, you can walk by them, nobody would know.
Except the fact there's 4 kids there.
True. True.
With no disguises.
We see interrogation droid units flying past, and even KB is like, the Force. Do we have it? And Jod's quick response was, the Force flows through everything, which how often have we heard that?
Many times.
Time and time again.
So many times that I remember that.
Which also goes to show that it doesn't matter if you're a Jedi or not. The Force flows through you.
Right. Well, and Wim's problem is he thinks that if somebody has the Force, they're automatically good because they have to be Jedi.
Yes.
So
they do.
Is it extremely true? Naive in that frame?
Yeah. Is it true? Not really.
Not much.
Not really. Not really.
Have you met a guy by the name of Darth Vader?
Darth Vader, Darth Maul,
Darth Sidious. Darth Maul.
Count Dooku.
There you go. Yeah.
Avaj Ventress.
And many, many more.
Yeah. I mean, they're all over. All over. And in this case, as they get back to the Onyx Cinder, they're like, all right, we're good. We're back on the ship.
I loved Jod's reaction when he saw the ship.
Yeah, you came on that?
Oh, crap.
That thing's going to fall apart? Holy crap. But the best part was once they're on the ship, John's getting her all ready, and Fern goes, wait a minute. We're not leaving our droid behind.
Yep.
We need our droid back.
Yep.
And John's like, what? We don't need him. You got me. And she's like, no. So Wim backs her up and says, no, we need SM-33. He's our droid. He knows how to operate the ship.
We don't need a droid. And then Fern goes, we don't leave people behind. Or the Jedi don't leave people behind.
And that's when Jod goes, oh, he's just a droid. Just a droid.
And he's like, and the Jedi don't say that.
Yeah.
That's the old Marine Corps.
But I will admit that all 4 of those kids went, no, he's our droid. We need him.
Yeah. Because Frontier's like, well, I'll go get him then.
Yeah.
Went back to, I'll go too. Neil, KB, boom, 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 right down the line.
That's when he's like, nope, I got it. I will go get him.
But don't touch a thing.
Yeah, don't touch anything. Don't touch a thing. So obviously he goes back to the spaceport. He goes back into the prison. Gets to what I believe it was one of the storage lockers is what it was, right?
Like a repair like a repair bay or something along those lines. I don't really think it was a storage
something
thing.
along those lines.
Yeah,
and,
something like that.
You know, obviously he sees him hanging there, and he's just goes, okay, yeah, let's see what happens. But and before that, Neil says, oh, by the way, don't forget the rat that lives in his eye.
Mm-hmm.
Need the rat. So
it's a very distinguishing point.
Yeah, well, yeah, that way he can find him. So once they do their thing, they're getting everything ready. We see a scarred like human and Brutus, Captain Brutus. Captain Brutus. The Wolfman, I like to call him.
Yes.
He's a Shista Vaninen. Yeah, Shista Vaninen is what he is. So basically, he's a wolf.
Right.
He'll rip your face off. He'll do whatever.
Bright red friggin' eyes.
And tells him that Silvo escaped. He's out of the brig, whatever. In the repair shop, Jod goes, okay, let's see. Are you this person? Nope, I'm not this person. Are you this person? Nope, not this person. And he powers down the droids after he powers them back up. An RA7 protocol droid searching for Prince. He's like, no. Then he sees a B1 battle droid who asks if they won the Clone Wars before his head fell off.
That was funny as hell.
And I went, well, that's one way to tie it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, you did not. Sorry. You kind of went kaboom.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And they were all deactivated anyway. But he finally finds SM-33, who's, like I said, hanging. Powers him up. And he goes, are you SM-33? And he confirms that he is, and he powers him down right away. Throws him on a cart.
What business is it of yours?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll take that as a yes. Boom. And then one of the pirates comes in and interrupts him.
Tib.
Ishi
no.
Tib.
It's Benjar Pranik. He's an Ishtib pirate.
That's true. That's true.
Pardon my faux pas there.
Your faux pas.
Yes, my faux pas.
Now, again, people, these are all the same pirates from The Mandalorian, just so you know.
Just haven't gotten blown up yet.
Just keep that in your brain. It's the same pirates from The Mandalorian. Hint, hint. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge.
Right.
Say no more.
Well, then, Benjar's sitting there and he's just talking it up with Jod, and Jod's got this look on his face like, how do I get out of here?
Like they're old buds. They were just chilling.
Yeah, and he's like, just curious though, why would Brutus let you go just before your trial was supposed to start?
Who knows where thoughts come from? They just appear.
Well, it makes me wonder, and I'm sure it makes you wonder as well. Mm-hmm. What the hell did he do?
Oh, I know what he did. It was the whole beginning of the first episode.
Thank you.
That's exactly what he did.
Thank you.
So Brutus went, I'm taking over. You're in jail now.
It's called a mutiny.
For leading us on this wild goose chase.
Where they found one little Republic credit.
I mean, it's better than nothing if you ask me, but, not going to.
Well, not when you got a group of 50 pirates.
Also true. True. Especially as, they're talking about this, and he goes, well, I have to leave soon, and I'm borrowing this old droid. Brannick kind of goes, well,
sit down and have some tea.
You were a little bit of a better person than Brutus is, but I have to report you.
Let's call the security droids and go from there.
Yep. And he also says, does this have any relation to the children who showed up before? And even Jod was like, do we really have to tell Brutus?
Right.
Do we really have to? And that's when he says to the guards, come on in for a little chat. Come in for a chat. And does he come in for a chat all right? But we don't see that yet.
Yeah.
Because while that's all happening, Wim and Fern are having a little argument, so to speak, over the Jedi.
Small tiff.
Yeah, I mean, listen, she raised some pretty good questions. And in my opinion, has every right to be skeptical of the Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
Like, every right. But that's when she's like, he could be using a repulsor lift, tractor beam, magnets, mirrors, strings.
Yeah, like string.
Like, really? String?
String? Really? String?
Even KB kind of did a, huh?
Yeah.
What? No. But at the same time, Wim's on the opposite end. No, I disagree with you. And there's no treasure, which we don't know if there really is. We don't. I mean, personally, I think that whole planet is the actual treasure.
Yeah, there's got to be something on it. There's got to be something about that place.
And Wim even says that Jod can help them get home. So let's do it. Let's get home.
He and Neil vote in favor of keeping Jod.
Yes.
Fern says, well, I think we should leave him. And KB agrees with me. So that's a tie. It reverts to the captain, and I'm the captain. So,
but KB also disagreed with Fern.
Yep. KB says, wait a minute.
Because Fern flat out said that KB and she was speaking for KB, and KB's like,
yeah.
No.
She did what Wim did with Neil.
Yeah. But at the same time, KB was analyzing everything.
Yep. She's like, hey, we're just kids. We can't do this alone.
Yeah. If anybody could, KB could.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know that full potential yet.
Right.
Will she eventually? Yep. Absolutely.
Would hope so. Maybe we'll see.
Absolutely. And by this time, now we see a dinghy flying in the background.
Yeah, while this argument's going on.
While this argument is happening, you see a dinghy flying back and forth and all over the place. And Jod's in the process of escaping, and the pirates are flying after him. Neil hears blaster fire and is like, whoa, what is going on here? And John manages to dock with the Onyx. Drags SM-33 on board and tells the kids, hit the throttle. But now the problem is they're still hooked up.
To the fuel line.
Yeah.
The all-important fuel line.
The fuel line, because, let's break that.
Gotta have gas to go places.
So, as John's dragging SM-33 and he tells him hit the throttle, the kids are like, oh, I don't know how to do this. So he starts teaching them. Right off the bat, starts teaching them how to do it. And that's when they see the fuel line is stuck and they need to go faster. But the cable won't break. Even I'm like, that's one strong cable right there.
Mm-hmm.
That is one.
Well, it was probably
cable.
designed with that in mind.
Yeah.
I would have.
So instead, John switches it up a little bit and decides to use the ships to his advantage and starts colliding with other starships to stop the pirates from pursuing. And then he eventually shakes off the line. It snaps.
Well, he did that by going into hyperspace.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
And LGKB's like, aren't we not supposed to go into hyperspace with the fuel line?
Well, I mean,
there.
I mean, technically, yeah.
I wouldn't think it would be a good thing, but in an emergency situation such as this,
yes, hit it.
You take chances that you wouldn't normally take.
Punch it. You gotta punch it.
Exactly.
So clearly, as things are falling apart and exploding and starships are crashing into others and there's a lot of damage, Brutus is pissed. He came to my home, destroyed this whole thing. Find them. Hunt them down and find them. And then, of course, we see Steve Urkel. Poor Steve Urkel. He will always have that name.
Yep.
And grabs him, and he's like, find him.
Put out a bounty.
Yeah. I forgot. Do you remember how much they put on his head?
He didn't say.
Put a bounty on his head. And for the other,
all he said was put out a bounty. He didn't say anything about an amount.
Yep. Well, while that's, happening, we are now in hyperspace. And the kids repair SM-33. They turn them back on. And SM-33 says that Jod is an intruder and he's got to go. Let's throw him out the airlock. But Wim steps up and says, no. He's a Jedi.
He's good.
We can trust him. He's good. He's going to take us back to my dad on Adin. And the droid goes, I don't know where that planet is. Most droids, depending on their travel in Star Wars, have memory banks that keep track of every place that they've been to, every person that they've talked to, every language, every command, you name it. It's all up in their old processor.
Yep.
Jod, however, is eating a bowl of porridge in front of the kids and, inhaling it. And all four of them are like,
food.
Where'd you get the food? Where's ours? So once he finishes eating the porridge, the four of them just beeline for it.
Well, I thought it was funny that, he set the bowl down on the table that SM-33 sitting on, that tells him, clean that up.
No.
SM-33's like, excuse me?
I ain't cleaning that up. Hell no. Hell no.
No, we won't go. Sorry.
And from there, Jod's going through, he's leaving, so he's going through clothes in the actual ship now. Because, probably stinks. Not going to lie. Just putting it out there. But he also pulls out a knife from the remains of one of the bodies that was hanging up on the wall.
One that scared the crap out of Wim.
Yeah. I think they all scared the crap out of Wim, to be honest. But,
well, yeah, but this one got him the most.
But that's when, obviously SM33 is like, first of all, you don't tell me what to do.
Right.
And even like SM33 just got taller and started towering over him. And he's like, no, you don't tell me what to do. My captain does. Right. And Jod's like, well, you know what? Hey, this is funny. This is funny.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, are the children really from Aden? And without missing a beat, the droid's like, well, they're from somewhere.
I will tell you this. They are definitely from somewhere.
Yep. Then he walks away.
After stabbing him in the chest a couple times.
Yeah, it does the whole, the finger poke of doom.
Mm.
And from a droid, that hurts.
Yeah.
Just saying. Then we see the kids eating the porridge again, and they're like, oh, man, that tasted good. Little fat bellies. That's what they had. Because they inhaled all of the porridge. And Neil sharing it with the rat, so he's now getting the rat to trust him. And Neil's like, I wonder if the treasure is connected to the great work. Now, we heard great work before in the first episode. Now, if you remember with the great work, that was when they started doing all the testing of the children to find out where they were going to be placed in their society.
Right. What job they were going to do.
And if it had anything to do with the credits used on Aden, which again, those credits are from the old Republic.
And let's remember, this is his lunch money.
Right. This is not only his lunch money, but they're also in the New Republic era, which again goes back to me saying they've been cut off for a long time.
Yep.
How long? I don't know. Wim hides the money. Neil thanks Jod for the food. And that's when he goes, all right, kids, time for bed. And they're all like, I'm not tired yet. Next shot, they're all passed out. Except for one. KB. She does have the visor over her eyes, so I can understand where he may think that she's not really asleep. But she says to him, I don't think you're a Jedi. And that's when she starts calculating things.
Right.
But I loved Jod's retort. Not everything in the galaxy can be calculated. Trust your gut. And I went, oh, he definitely has some Jedi training. He does. That's neither here nor there. We know he's force sensitive. Who knows? He may even be like self-taught for all we know. But he turns off the lights and says, we've got about 2 hours before we reach my friend who can help us.
Right.
Get some sleep.
So, curiosity got the best of me.
Uh-huh.
and I Googled how long has At-Aten been cut off from the rest of the universe in Skeleton Crew.
Okay.
And this is what I got. This is the AI overview breakdown.
Okay.
According to the information from Skeleton Crew, the planet At-Aten has been isolated from the rest of the galaxy for an unknown but likely very long time, with hints suggesting it could date back to the Proto-Republic era, meaning potentially thousands of years.
Yeah.
Hold it.
Yeah.
As the planet's inhabitants seem largely unaware of the recent galactic events and still use old Republic's credits as currency, however, the exact time frame is not explicitly stated. It also states that the children of At-Aten are familiar with the stories of the Jedi and the Sith.
Yes.
But seem unaware of the New Republic era following the fall of the Empire.
Which they don't even know about the Empire. So
exactly.
Something's going on.
Yeah. So, like I said, potentially thousands of years.
Yeah.
So I had to look it up.
Well, don't go too deep into it yet. So they get to the planet of Kim, or the moon of Kim. It's a gas giant. It's a gas giant, Kim. They get down. They fly down. They're over a rocky moon. They pass a telescope array. Not just any, but they land off to the side. They don't even go to where they need to be. And they walk the entire way. And they do that for a reason.
Well, what reason would that be?
Well, as KB put it, don't want to draw attention to ourselves. That's why he did it.
Or as Fern put it, because he wants to hide the ship.
Yep. Yep. Well, when they get to the gate, and again, we're kind of, we're not really skipping a lot of dialogue here. We're just getting to the point. And when they get to the gate, they get to Kim's. And she says, Crimson Jack, is that you?
Remember the name.
Remember the name, Crimson Jack.
Because even Neil goes, Crimson Jack? Who's that?
Yeah, who's that? And then another gatekeeper droid comes out, and they notice the kids, and they're like, huh, interesting. And Jod says, whoa, hold it. Sorry about the last time I was here. I apologize for the way things happened, but I think I brought you something special. Something that could help. And his friend Kim decides, all right, come on in for an old friend. Let's see what you got.
Keywords there.
Old friend.
Yeah. And she emphasized it.
Yes.
When she said it.
Old friend. Yep. Normally, when somebody mentions old friend,
it's in a happy voice.
No, not in Star Wars.
Yeah, not in Star Wars anymore, yeah.
Usually, somebody gets stabbed in the back. Old friend.
Well, now, you just popped something into my mind.
Oh, boy.
Because as they started to take the walk, or as they were getting ready to take the walk, Jod looks at the kids and say, I don't quite trust her 100%. I'm afraid she's going to stab us in the back.
Yes.
Which Neil's like, stab us. Not literally.
Not literally, but, it's
still
possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. No. Well, it turns out, in my opinion, that Kim is a cute, adorable owl type alien. Very smart, though. Very, very smart.
Reminded me of Clash of Titans.
Right? Right? That gold owl.
Yep. I actually had to look it up because I couldn't remember what freaking movie it was from. But I'm like, I know there's a damn robot owl in a movie that I've watched.
Yep. Good old Clash of the Titans. Well, when they get in there, they start explaining where they're from to her. And John's like, Kim is kind of, I'm going to brush off Jod. But the kids, however, those kids I'm going to help. I'm going to help them. I'm going to be kind to them. So clearly you can see where her priorities lie with things. And
she thinks he's kidnapped the kids.
Yeah, well, also true. But KB goes on his defense and says, no, he actually helped us.
Right.
He saved us. He got us out of where we needed to be, and he's going to help us get home. And that's when she starts going through maps of every star galaxy and all the hyperspace routes that are out there, because if anybody's going to have it, it's going to be one of these characters. And for her, she's got every map known to man. Literal maps, not computer maps, the actual maps.
Maps.
Yeah. Jod is like, well, no, wait a minute. I'm vouching for the kids. Like, this is what's happening here, And that's when she starts asking the kids all these questions about At-Adin. At-Adin. This is a problem. She was able to pull a map. And
they brought up Coruscant and Alderaan and everything, and she's like, oh, there's another clue. And then she sees the badge on the back, because Fern doesn't believe that this is going to do any good.
Right.
And she goes and throws her backpack on her back, and Kim sees the honor student badge on the back of her backpack.
Yep.
And says, ooh, we can use that too.
Yeah.
I love the process of elimination that Kim is doing.
Just asking questions, probing the kids, getting keywords and all that.
What was, describe the barrier to me.
Yep. And they did. They described what it looked like, what it can do. It's kind of like a reddish hue type thing, very cloudy, stuff like that. And when she found the scroll saying there is no map to At-Adin, the scroll depicts the jewels of the Old Republic, which showed many, many different planets. I think it had 9 total.
There was 9 of them on there.
9 of them were on there. And theirs was kept secret, hidden.
Yeah, and then she's like, well, all but one got destroyed in the war. And they're like, what war?
Yeah, what war?
Which was never answered.
No, but you can kind of put it together. Especially since Kim mentions that Alderaan was destroyed during the Galactic Civil War.
Right. And that's when I like, what war?
Yeah, what war? What do you mean?
They called them Palmerish numerals.
Yes.
Used in a proto-republic artifact.
Yep.
So there's that word again, proto-republic.
Yep. Way back in time. Neil starts mentioning about the Great Work, staying within the barrier. The barrier's cloudy. It appears to swirl at night, which, if you look at some of the planets on the Jewels of the Republic, it actually shows a planet where there's swirls. Like it's an actual like pinwheel type of swirl.
Right.
And a couple of them even show like layers. You know, kind of like if you had a lollipop and each layer was a different color, or a candy cane, even better, a candy cane.
It's a Tootsie Pop.
Yeah, but even she's saying like this is really interesting. Keep on giving me this stuff. Let's go.
Yep.
But she was able to narrow it down to 10,000 different worlds, which was
coincidentally eliminated 99.999% of the rest of the galaxy.
Yeah, which I'm like, what?
That's a whole lot of galaxy to eliminate.
Yeah. Well, that also just goes to show you how much of the galaxy has not even been touched when it comes to Star
Wars. Like the ocean.
Yeah, kind of like the ocean. Absolutely. Absolutely. So now it's okay. We need to cross-reference this, cross-reference that. We need to go here. We need to do this. And that's when the computer starts,
prints out a card.
Yeah, printed out a card. But Jod says to Kim, "You're stalling. What'd you do?"
Yep.
And that's when we hear a transmission of Sector Patrol. We hear and see some X-Wings come flying down. And she flat out says, Jod's a scoundrel, man. Don't do it. But the patrol asks for Crimson Jack, which we know is Jod. So there you go. Crimson Jack. That's his other name.
Persona.
Yes. Not the first person to have it, but Crimson Jack is well known in the galaxy. And, Jod's shooting at her now. And she's trying to attack him. And we get to the point where KB helps Kim out of the stack that she got pretty much thrown into or collapsed on top of her. And she says, "Are you and the other children still going to follow him?" And KB says, "I don't trust him, but he has gotten us this far."
Yep.
And that's when Kim goes, "Okay, use your head."
Yeah. Let me guess. He told you to follow your gut.
Yep. Follow your gut.
Don't do that. Use your head.
Use your head. Yeah. Which, if you think about it, and I'm sure you'd back me up on this, if you think about it, that statement right there, use your head, don't use your gut. Mm-hmm. You can still use your gut and still use your head.
Yeah.
So
your gut will warn you first, but then you analyze it with your head.
Yes. And then do what you need to do.
Yep.
You have to take those steps. So in a lot of ways, she's helping her. And even Kim said, if you need anything at any time, call me.
Let your fingers do the walking.
Just call me. Anytime. KB joins Jod and the rest, and they flee. They get onto the ship. The X-Wings...
Well, they get to the ship.
Yeah. The X-Wings are swooping down, doing whatever. And even Fern says... why did
Basically,
Kim...
we want the truth.
Yeah, we want the truth. Why did Kim call you Crimson Jack?
Yep.
And he's like, I promise to explain to you when we're on the ship. Let's get to the ship. And all of them, the girls, even the boys, are like, who are you?
Yeah.
Tell us who you are now.
And then KB actually walks over and tries to start signaling the fighters.
She used her cybernetic implants.
Mm-hmm.
We're over here.
And Jod shut that down real quick.
But SM-33...
eventually they negotiate a deal with him.
Yeah. But SM-33 even came out and said, are you causing trouble?
Right.
What are you doing? What's wrong with you, dude?
And they eventually cut the deal of you don't work with us, you work for us.
Yes.
So Jod is working for the kids in SM-33.
And he even
said, what he agrees to in order to get onto the damn ship.
Yeah. And he even said, listen, I got the coordinates. You ain't going anywhere without the coordinates.
Right.
So let's do this. And that's when he says, that's when he says that Kim's goons are not going to help them get home.
Yeah.
In this case, the New Republic. Okay. So he says, all right, I get you home. I want a reward. That's it. That's all I want.
He's like, maybe a small reward.
Just a small reward. And like you said, they're not partners. You work for us.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. And if you don't like it, SM-33 is going to blowtorch you.
Yeah. And throw you out.
And throw you out the airlock. So as they're getting on, apparently SM-33 was doing repairs, and John's like, fix it, put it back together, we gotta go.
Right.
They fire up the engines and they leave. And even the X-Wing pilots are like, Crimson Jack, surrender. They turn off all the intercoms and they're out of there. And that's when John says, Neil, come on, fly it, let's go. He's like, what?
Avoid them.
What? So he starts using the throttle. KB puts the punch card into the computer. John assigns Fern to manning a front gun turret, which, to be honest, was pretty awesome, and sends Wim down to do the other one.
The rear turret.
The rear. And obviously the two, to be honest, this was probably one of the smartest things Jod did, because those kids aren't going to hit shit. They don't know how to shoot.
One of them did.
Well, yes. Was it Fern?
Pure luck, but one of them did.
Was it Fern or Wim? I can't remember.
We're not sure who it was, but Wim was the first to say, I hit it. And Fern goes, no, that was my shot.
Yeah. So they were arguing.
We don't know which one it was.
But all they really did was just knock one of the engines off of out of commission on one of the X-Wings to the point where they needed to land. And that was it. That was it. And even the X-Wing, the X-Wing got a good shot on it. They were able to take out one of the engines on the Onyx Cinder.
The front right side.
Yep. And they were able to get out of the clouds, off the observatory moon, and they go into hyperspace. And the interesting part about this is now obviously they're away. They've got the coordinates. They're going to where they need to go. I personally don't think it's at Aden. That's just my opinion. I have a feeling there's more to what's going on. Clearly. But
I mean, we're 3 episodes into an 8-episode series.
Yeah.
It's a little quick to get them back home already.
Oh, hands down.
So.
But what I liked about this was Kim says to Commander Kent. I'm pretty sure we've seen Commander Kent before.
You get a better look at his face, though.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one. For us, I believe we may have seen him in The Mandalorian.
I think so, because he is flying an X-Wing with blue markings.
Yes,
which most of the time you see orange.
Yes.
So.
But I'm not 100% sure. Because, again, there are so many different X-Wing patrols that are out there that more and more characters are going to come out, But...
And he asks an extremely logical question. for the situation that they were just in, where they do know where they went. And I love Kim's reply.
Oh, you mean if I tell you, you wouldn't believe me?
Yep. As she turns and looks up at the stars.
I loved that remark. I really do.
Perfect ending for this episode.
Oh, yeah. And it ends just like that.
Yep.
She looks up at the sky and the sky is there. And then the credits come on, just like any Star Wars show would. Stars in the background with the credits. You have to do it that way. That is just, it is what it is.
That's the way it's got to be.
You have to.
So this is an odd episode. So what are you rating this?
Oh,
so how many bikes are you giving it?
How many speeder bikes? I am giving it a 4.5.
Nice.
I really am, because 1, it's still keeping your attention. 2, how often do you hear about pirates in space? 3, still getting the Goonies vibe. 4, the plot is moving along nicely. I am not bored with it. I am not like I'm actually anticipating the next episode every single time. Not like with the Acolyte, where yes, we were anticipating it because we were doing the show, but it's sucking me in.
You're looking forward to the next episode.
Oh, hands down. Hands down. And when it comes down to this, all of the characters and everything that's being revealed, although slowly, you're seeing the characters change quickly.
Yeah.
For a good reason, too. You know, the kids are learning you can't be kids out here.
Right.
You have to step up and you have to grow up if you're going to survive in this galaxy. Doesn't matter what planet you're from.
Right.
And the fact that you and I are in full agreement that they have been cut off for so long means something big is going to happen. Clearly.
Something very interesting.
Yes. And I really hope it's not a cop out. Because, like, good example. I'll use Lost as an example. Lost, the ending of Lost was a cop out. That was people called they were dead from season 1. Let's give the people what they want. No, make it interesting. Make it interesting. I have a feeling this is going to be a series that will not get resolved by episode 8. Will they get home? Maybe, but I doubt it. I really do. I doubt it, because I have a feeling this is going to be like the next Mandalorian for them. I really do. I'm a firm believer with the way everything has been happening.
Well, they've got a lot of time to fill.
They do.
They've got a lot of time to fill. So
they do. They have a lot of time.
I can see it.
And if you think about it, it doesn't matter what the time frame is. Those kids are going to grow up. You adapt the stories as they grow up. You could clearly get 5 to 6 seasons out of this. If that.
Yeah, I'd say 3, 4.
Depending on what they're doing.
Yeah. It all depends on where they go.
Who knows? They could. Oh, I just thought of something. Oh.
Working into the Mandalorian movie?
No. Well, yes, they could. Absolutely. They could. Or they can work it into Ahsoka. Just saying.
Either one would work.
Just saying.
No, they could work it into both.
It's true. You could. You could tie them together, hands down. Hands down. I mean, right now you can't because Ahsoka's off in another galaxy somewhere, but that's besides the point. So, yep, 4.5 for me.
Okay. I'm going with 4. I'm going an even 4. I love the episode. I did. I loved every bit of the episode. The interaction between all the kids, the interaction with Jod, how it's still extremely uneasy, and even after working the deal with them, it's still extremely uneasy.
Yep.
Fern doesn't trust him. KB doesn't trust him. Wim is just like, oh, sure. Yep. And everything. Jod is a mystery to me.
Yeah.
Jod is a mystery to me. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, yes, he was a pirate. But as he told the kids, I'm like you. I'm out here on my own, alone.
And he is.
So he was doing what he had to do, like you like to say, in order to survive.
Yeah. Gotta survive.
And possibly keep the fact that he's a full Jedi trained individual hidden. Okay, because as far as we know, he hasn't exposed any of that to Brutus or his group.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, he sat in jail.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. So I didn't have anything really in the episode to really push it over a 4.
Okay.
But I'm right there with you. It's pulling me in. It's pulling Kay in.
Yes.
It's making us anticipate. And I got so pissed off tonight because I could not watch episode 4. I wanted to watch episode 4 so freaking bad, especially with the comments that you made about it.
Oh.
And everything. So, we're going to get to episode 4. We're going to get there.
Just you wait.
We will get there. So, I could have seen it going up to a 4.5, maybe a 4.25, but we're gonna stick with a 4 for right now.
All right. So that means that there's room for you to possibly update that.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Okay. Definitely.
All right. I got you.
Got to see what happens in 4.
Agreed.
So, I reserve the right to backtrack and adjust my score on episode 3.
All right. I will listen. We get 1 per season, so
there you go.
Use it where you want. That's for sure. That's for sure. That, my friends, is the end of this week's 2 Ewoks in the Park. Next week, we will cover episodes 4 and episodes 5. Episodes 4 and 5. Also,
last episode of 2024.
That's right. And we will also be on hiatus for the Sully Show for the next 2 weeks. Because clearly, Christmas and New Year's. Could we potentially do one later in the week? Maybe. It depends on time that I have. Depends on time that JT has. But it is a possible. Yes, it's possible. Could it happen? I don't know. Something we got to discuss. But once we're done 2 Ewoks in the Park, What If starts. So Avenger Pretenders will be coming back after the new year. We're not doing this 2-show bullshit like we did last time.
Yeah, no, that was holy hell in a handbasket on fire.
That was like, whoa, our brains were all over the place. But
it was a handbasket made of thermite that was catching on fire.
Right? But we will, in fact, be doing season 3 of What If because we have to. It's the last season of What If. Yes. So Avenger Pretenders will be coming back after the new year, after 2 Ewoks in the Park. So you might want to start watching it and catch up so that way, spoilers won't happen and you'll get our thoughts on it. But as for everything else, for the redneck, there he is.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah.
Have a safe time and have a great time with your family.
Absolutely. And Merry Christmas. And as always, may the force be with you.